What's happening, guys? Welcome to SketchUp Live. It's Friday afternoon. At least it's Friday afternoon here. So regardless of where you are, now is the time when we talk about SketchUp. So welcome to SketchUp Live. My name is Aaron. I'm me. Sometimes I start talking and don't have a way to finish a sentence I start in. That was one of them. With me in my ears and yours is Donovan. Hey, Donovan.
Hey, it's me. And like my title card says, I am younger than Jody.
It's true.
So I'm happy to be here.
I prefer to not label people with things that they can argue about or connect value to. It's straight up fact. Just Don's just younger.
It is
argue
fact.
with it if you can.
It's good.
So, yeah, welcome all. It sounds like we got people coming in from all over the world. If you haven't already, go ahead and shout out in the chat, regardless of where you're at. YouTube, LinkedIn. Where else we have people at? Facebook. What am I missing? Twitter? That's still around, right? Yeah, say hi.
Yep,
Tell us
still
where you're
as of
coming
today.
from. As of right now, it's happening.
Sitting here and looking at all the comments coming in, I almost think that we have more people that tune into these lives from outside the US than from within. Because so far we have Devon, UK, we have Syria, Norway, Belgium, Poland, Canada, and it's all over. It is all over. I haven't seen anybody from the US chime in, but I'm sure maybe there's one or two out there. As of right now, you are worldwide, Aaron.
Whew. And apparently you and I are the only ones in the US on the stream. So
yep. Got to start somewhere, right?
I'll take it. Netherlands. That's fun. Hey, I'm heading to the Netherlands in October to speak at the Basecamp Benelux. So Remco H. I don't know if you'll be in at that event, but if so, say hi. Yeah, let's Georgia. We got Georgia. Wait, is that also an international location or is that just in the US?
No, that's an international location. Yep. Unless they met Georgia, US.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, hey, Nebraska.
Nebraska, Virginia, Arizona, Chicago.
Arizona, Chicago. Okay.
My hometown. Grew up in the northwest Chicago suburbs. So, hello, LinkedIn user. Wonder why it says all the LinkedIn users are coming in as LinkedIn user rather than their names. Doesn't mean you should stop talking. Chat away. All right, so we're going to do a thing. A couple weeks ago, we said, hey, tell us what to model. And we had a lot of good requests and we recorded them. Not all of them are going to get modeled, but we did take them in. It was pretty cool. One that came up was to model Bastille. Last Friday was Bastille Day. So being an uneducated American, I went to find out a little bit more about what that was. So I pulled up some pictures and I found some cool hand-drawn images of the Bastille prison, which was a castle. I mean, it's a straight up fortified castle with turrets and walls and all kinds of stuff. I found pictures of the plans, like looking down from above, drawing, like I said, obviously hand drawings, but the outside, very, very cool. So we decided, hey, that'd be a fun thing to do. We'll do it. We'll model the Bastille. I don't know how to use it. I don't know if anybody here has the knowledge. Is calling it the Bastille good, or should I say Bastille prison, or I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Educate me. But I found one image that made me change what I thought I should model here. So originally, like I said, we were talking about modeling the outside, the exterior. It's a fairly simple thing. It's got a set of turrets of round castle-y, towers that repeat, relatively same size that happen all the way around with walls. Not super complicated, so that like the initial mock-up would probably take like maybe half an hour or so. But then as I was looking through images, I found an image of the interior that I was like, oh, that's cool. We got to try that. I don't know how it's going to work out. You guys know sometimes I launch into cool ideas for models and end up sweating or complaining or something like that. So, yeah, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna model this interior image of the Bastille. Let me start by just showing you what that image is. So I'm gonna just import it, just so we can take a look at what this is. I believe it's this one. Just gonna throw it on the ground.
So trying to get my locations right. If I remember, this was the prison that is the setting for the Man in the Iron Mask from way back in the day, correct?
That could be.
Am I right? I'm trying to think of like when I've seen, we don't watch, Americans don't tend to watch a lot of international films unless it's like
Right,
film
unless
festivals
Leonardo
kind of thing.
DiCaprio's in it. Yeah,
Unless and I'm trying to think is like when would I have seen the interior of the Bastille in like a Hollywood film? And the only thing that I could think of
fair enough.
was
Fair enough.
Man in the Iron Mask. But I may be totally off on that. That it may be something totally different. I'm not sure.
That is absolutely true, and this is the image that I found. I don't know if this is actually, well, nobody knows that the building's destroyed, right? So, um, I don't know if this is valid or not, if this is what it looked like, but it is cool. It has multiple planes of geometry. It has repeating geometry. It has lofted ceilings. Uh, it looks like the artist did a good enough job with vanishing points that we might even be able to use photo match on this hand drawing, which I've never done it before. So, yeah, I figured, I don't know, it's a challenge. It'll be fun. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be great.
What's the worst that could happen?
People in the comments are already letting me know Versailles was Man in
Okay.
the Iron Mask, not the Bastille. And I'm assuming I'm saying the right Versailles.
I
That's
believe
the
that is
silent,
proper
right?
pronunciation based on my
Okay.
zero French knowledge. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and the storming of Bastille was the start of the French Revolution. Is that true? I don't know. Yeah, so let's do this. So I just imported this just to show you guys the image I'm gonna use. I'm gonna try. I don't know if this is gonna work. Eric would probably smack my wrist and go, "Why didn't you spend 10 minutes trying this out beforehand, stupid?" But I want to try to import it and see if Photo Match works on it. So we'll just start there, see what happens, and I want to get something like this created 2 hours from now. I gotta stop talking because I'm gonna run out of time. Okay, let's do it. Back over here. Back where we were.
I don't think running out of time is a problem with me as a co-host because the last few times I've co-hosted you, we tend to be done sooner than we should and end up just kind of hanging out for a little bit. So I don't know if it's good luck to have me around, bad luck.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, so I'm going to import that exact same photo, import it as a new matched photo. I'm going to click on import. All right, let's look at this thing. So I need to set my origin somewhere. I'm thinking I might use this corner right here. And then I need to set my vanishing points. We'll try red on this. Red going this way. And red coming this direction here. Where do we got? Oh, don't pay too much attention to those lines right now. It'll make you motion sick. Something like that. So I have fairly good vanishing points that way. This way, it's a little more extreme. Oh boy. Sorry, Heather. Whew. Stuff got crazy there for a second. All right, I'm assuming all of these columns are in a row. So I think if I follow the same line on both of them, I get a pretty good line down there. For the bottom, I might have to use. Oops. What was I getting there? I was clicking on something. Maybe I can use this line over here. Something like that. No, that's not a great line. Follow some of these brick lines. I mean, drawing
It's a little tricky when it's hand drawn.
Yeah, I mean, a 2 points perspective is not ridiculous, right? That's not. I don't know what I just did with that. When I grabbed that yellow line, started moving around, I may have inadvertently injured myself. What is
That's all
this?
right. We haven't saved yet. It's not set in stone, so
That's right.
you're still
All
good.
right. Yeah, I messed with something when I did that I don't want to do. I'm gonna re-import it again. So I'm gonna delete this scene and go back to a normal view. I think what I did was, yeah, I screwed my field of view up by grabbing that line and moving around. So let's go fix that. If you ever end up with a bad photo match, always an opportunity to learn here, guys. If you end up with a bad photo match, you do something you're not supposed to, click done, delete the scene. Everything in photo match is connected to that scene. So if you delete the scene, the photo goes out, everything goes out. To fix this, where I ended up with some weird, super exaggerated depth of field, I just go to camera, I'm going to go to field of view, and I'm going to set that to 35. And there we go. We're back to
Expanding our international audience. We got people from India, from Morocco, from France, it looks like, from that will hopefully be helpful to us and not butchering a lot of the words that might come up in this.
Oh, yes. Good to have you.
Algeria, Sudan, Tennessee, all over.
Welcome, one and all. All right, here, how about this? I don't know if this will work, but see this little ring right here? Again, if both these rings are on the same plane, that should work there. And I can use this line here. That gives me a fairly straight up and down, close to straight up and down. All right, so I'm going to fudge it a little bit.
We also got people from Greece, from United Arab Emirates, Mexico, Canada, Berlin.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to, at this point, I'm going to start roughing in some geometry. This is looking pretty good. So I'm going to rough in this wall right here. I'm not, those little pop-outs aren't going to be there, but there we go. Okay, I have a single plane there. That worked. I'm going to grab that plane and I'm going to move it, move a copy of it along the red axis. Ooh, yeah, so some distortion's happening. This is not gonna lend itself really to what I want to do. See how far off I am when I just get over there.
That's all right. We just started.
Yeah.
We're still okay.
Okay. So I have to decide how I want to do this, knowing that I can't use photo match on this. So unfortunately, that's not a thing that's going to work very good. Which makes sense. I mean, like I said, we always talk about this. Photo match does require a specific kind of image. I do have to, with photo match, I got to do get the right view, vanishing points. I have to be intentional about that. It's not too surprising that a hand drawing didn't work out. But that's okay, because we can still create something from that drawing. I don't know why I just deleted Heather like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-import that.
Out of morbid curiosity, when it comes to photo match, if you're using something like a hand drawing, would like a higher contrast drawing tend to work better?
No, as long as you can see the lines. It doesn't do anything automatic at this point, so it doesn't really care like the composition of or the colors or anything like that. It's just a matter of getting those good vanishing lines. So straight up looking straight at a wall isn't going to work. Looking at a building like at a 45-degree angle where you can see this wall goes off in distance that plane, this one goes in that plane, that's what you want. What you want is those seeing this wall kind of go off in a distance, this wall go off in distance, and have those lines you can follow with your guidelines. That will get the geometry correct. The rest of it, people try to use images all the time. Another problem is the lens too. If you look at something that has any lens that does any kind of distortion, like a fisheye lens, that's going to warp the lines. That's not going to work. Sometimes people will grab images that have been, unbeknownst to them, edited or changed. You can take an image into Photoshop and real easily make these, edges that don't look parallel straight, and let Photoshop, make everything look perfectly lined up. And then that eliminates photo match from being something you can use there too.
Somebody is asking in the YouTube chat, can you do multiple photo matches in one drawing, allowing you to adjust for distortion?
You, well, you can do, yes, but also no. You can do multiple photo matches, and we've done videos on that. If you check our YouTube channel, you'll see that that's a thing that we've done before. It doesn't allow you to. It still requires you to have a good match, a good photo match. So if your image is warped or something like that, having multiple images might help you in the end, but then you're going to have to intentionally ignore the reference images. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I always tell people the best way to get a good photo match photo is to take the picture yourself. Okay, so I've lost 15 minutes of my 2 hours of time to model, so I got to just start modeling some stuff. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use this as reference, and we're going to just start building the model together. So I scale this up to about life size. Heather's about the same size as these ladies. I'm assuming these are ladies because of the big dresses. So I'm going to model some geometry that's about the same size as what I see here. So maybe I'll actually even come on here just as a quick reference and excuse me, pull up something like this. All right, so I'll take that and I'm going to draw a line over here, something like this. Okay, just getting some general approximate geometry off of the image. All right. There, I have that. Let's take it and... So I'm working on a brand new computer today, which is really cool. It's great to have new computers in theory. Problem is, I have a couple things where I have made myself dependent upon some functions, which includes things like a shortcut key for move that apparently I did not assign. So I'm trying to move with up. So I'm just going to customize this real quick on my keyboard and say up is supposed to be move. And then this is where rectangle resides. All right, we'll see if that works.
This is a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. It's
Aaron edition.
I mean, it's great to be able to get new computers and that kind of stuff. That's awesome. But yeah, it can also be a little rough when you've spent your week working and not thinking about how you have a live stream that you need to be able to model for. That's a peek into my process. I should work on. All right, so what I have here is what will be this wall and what will be this piece right here. I'm going to continue roughing in some geometry. I'm going to get a circle. I'm going to double the sides to 48. And I'm going to put that right across here like this. And then get rid of that. All right, so that's this arch coming over top to here, top to here. And what I think I'm going to do, it looks like I got this same arch then right over here. That blends into maybe some other wall over here. We got these convenient staircases or platforms or whatever these are going up over top that obscure geometry, and I bet we can leverage that. use that to our advantage. All right, so something like this. That's the front face here. That geometry is then going to repeat back here. See that? So I'm not going to worry about this second plane back here yet. I want to get this piece fleshed out. And then once this is fleshed out, then I can actually take my geometry of the arch and everything else, and I can just put a copy back further. All right, so looking at this. this right here is going to come out some distance. So let's see what makes sense. Let's start pulling this out and see. So if I come out, I'm apologizing. I'm totally going to design this in imperial units. I'm sure that wasn't how it really worked. I pulled it out a foot. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go with a foot. So my brick depth, my ledge is going to be a foot, which means I have to take this minus this, offset that 1 foot also. That, come over here, turn those off, offset that, 12 also. All right, so we got that. How wide is this? I probably should check this first because it's 1 foot 6 and 7/16. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a nice round number here. I'm gonna grab this
Oof.
and scoot it over 7/16. All right, so now it should be 1 foot 6. I like that. There's probably some geometrical thought there where that makes sense for 1 to 1 1/3 or 1 to 1 1/2, right? That's a proportion of some sort. I'm talking crap. I don't know what's going on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'm going to pull that through 1 foot 6. I'm going to do the same over here. Cool. And then what I'll do is come back here. Where's that face? Let's grab all of this and move it from here straight back to here. All right, so now I'm starting to put together this shape right here. I'm going to assume I want a wall between these two. Let's close this up real quick.
So out of curiosity, how high are those arches right now at the scale that you have them?
These are roughly exactly just under 20 feet tall, which I buy from this image.
Yeah. That seems about believable.
Sounds goodish. I'm starting to realize here that something I should probably be doing is grouping some of this geometry that's going to repeat. Saving's so boring. All right, fine. All right, there we go. So I'm going to try to isolate geometry. I'm doing this late in the game. I should have probably isolated this earlier on, but I'm doing it now. Make that into a component. I'm going to call that my arch. I'm going to go into that arch. Oh, because I haven't done this before. I'm going to do that again. Do everything I just did a second time. Grab that. Deselect this geometry. This probably has bit somebody here. I'm going to make this a component. I'm going to call it arch, just like I did before. And here's what I didn't do last time. This little checkbox, where is it? Replace selection with component is turned off when you first use SketchUp. I know so many of us have used it so long they don't even think about this, but being that this is a new computer, new installation, it's not referring to any presets I've ever used before, so that is turned off. What that will do is throw out that selected geometry I have now and put my component back in. So I'm going to go create. It's going to say, do you want to replace the one that already exists? I do. There we go. All right. I'm going to just use push-pull to erase that. I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to make this a group right now because it's not my completed column. But I can also come into this piece and get rid of any extra geometry and then smooth these pieces on the outside, inside. Cool. Then I can take that arch and just slide it on over to here. There we go. Now, the other reason I did that is because I want another one of these guys. Option, I'm bring it right here. And then I'm going to rotate it like that. Because you can see that arch repeats here also. And this is what's going to get me to starting this stuff. See, that's starting to come together there. And then it looks like, so I got this one going back there. Looks like I have that then one more time. So we'll take all of that and we'll go underneath here, move from here to here. That looks like all my arches, right? So we got 1, 2, and then this ends up, this is a back wall back here.
And I suddenly have a desire to watch you model the Mines of Moria.
Ooh. You know, it's fun because I will absolutely say that big, ridiculous, stupid halls are super fun to model when you know, and doing it as a component too. So now when I come in here and I start putting details on this column, they're all of a sudden just going to start showing up all the way around. It's going to be super fun. Yes, absolutely. Mines of Moria, good times. I can't see them, but I am going to grab 2 of these and put them to right here because that's going to help me when it's time to put these arching ceilings in. In fact, I'm guessing, it's hard to see, but I'm guessing I need to do the same thing over here. Option from there. Like that. I think I have an extra line on here, so I'll get rid of that in all of them. Cool, so that is the central vaulted area here. And then it looks like same thing as I did on the other spot. I'm just going to put just a plane, not making it a group or anything else. Like that, just so I see that back face. Cool. I like it. I'm going to save it. Not that liking it should determine whether or not I save it, of course. Save it regardless.
It's a good reminder, though.
Yeah. We should be saving. We should be saving regularly. Okay, cool. So that's looking pretty sweet. I like this. I like where this is going. All right, let's talk about I tend to move things around and look at stuff in 3D space when I'm thinking about what to do. Here's what I want to do. I want to do these vaults. So I can tell you right now, when I was, like I said, I was trying to decide if this stuff was going to line up or not. I can tell this vault right here. So this is I can't remember the kind of vault this is, but there's basically 2 barrel vaults that go opposite directions and they cross to create that interior, diamond kind, or not, I don't know, this shape. But I can tell just by looking at this that this vault is not centered. The middle of these arches should be somewhere over here. So I saw this and I was actually kind of thinking that might throw my whole model off, but we ended up not doing the thing we thought we were going to do. So
creative liberty.
That's right.
I think to be called into play in a situation like this.
I'm designing here. Yeah, exactly.
Cross vault. Somebody chimed in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know enough to argue with you. So I take Transom's word on that. I just splashed my drink in my eye. Workers' comp. No, don't say that. Awesome.
This is why we do this live. All these moments would be lost.
It's carbonated.
Like tears in the rain. If it wasn't live right now.
That's right. Recording. Oh. All right. Wait for chat to catch up on that one. Okay, so let's make this cross vault. I like that. I don't know if that's actually. I'm gonna trust him. So what I want to do, man, just get right in there. I'm gonna do this outside of context. That meaning I don't want to actually draw this in where I actually have this going on. I'm doing it outside of that. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to bring it across to here. Triple click, make that a group. And then all I have to do is rotate that by the center. Option, spin that around 90 degrees. All right, now I'm going to grab both of these. Let's slide them both over here where I can see it better. So this is a spot where a lot of people go, okay, now we'll use solid tools, right? as this isn't actually a solid, I don't know that I'd bother with making solid tools. So I could do two things. Let's do both of these things. So one option I could have is to get both of these. I'm going to put them into a new group, go inside that group and explode both of them. So now I have just raw geometry crossing over each other. So I could grab just these two pieces of geometry, right click, and then say intersect face with selection. At this point, I just delete my inside geometry. I guess I should select and delete. And then reverse faces. And I could take that now and move it right here. So that would be my initial process to go around there. We get a lot of questions about using solid tools, and I get why people ask, because it's a cool way to model. I like cool ways to model. So if I wanted to do that, what I would do is I would model my original piece differently. So what I would want to do is, because right now this positive we have is what the negative will actually be. So actually, I guess I could do this a couple ways. I could do this 3 ways. Let me show you another way I could do it. This is what you came for, right? All right, I'm going to delete this guy. Come in here.
I know it's why I'm here.
That's right. I told Donovan he had to be here, so that's actually a lie.
Oh, yeah. There's that too.
Like that. We're going to come here, draw a line straight up to here. And basically, I'm going to create this shell around that space. Then I'll get rid of this. So what I just did is I created a brand new solid piece. I could take that then, grab it by the center, rotate a copy, and we actually have the opposite of the vault I want. So we actually have, it's hard to see with that light in there, but it's actually vaulting the other direction. So no, scratch it. That won't work. That was stupid. Why would you do that? Don't do that. These two solids I have right here, I could still use solid tools, because what I could do is I could take this volume right here, I could come into tools, solid tools, and union those to make that one solid piece. Now what I'll do is create a rectangle and pull that up through, make that a group, which is now also a solid, take my original one that I made with the vaults, and then I could use solid tools, subtract that from this big solid I just made, and that would give me the same exact shape I had over there, except this is now a solid piece. So depending on what your goal is for the final model, if you want to have, if I want to 3D print this, or I would need to pull volume, if I didn't, what's the volume of the actual bricks used, I would want to do something like this, where I would be more specific about how deep that was. Of course, I just arbitrarily pulled up the surface. But yeah, either of those would work to get you that geometry. It just depends on what you want to use it for. I'm going to copy that over here. Apparently I'm using this one. I don't know if this one was times.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's commit to that thing that will have impact on everything we do from here on out for no particular reason. Awesome. Okay, this is looking cool. Save. Cool, so we have these vaults. We have the complex geometry at this point. Excuse me for a second. This is cool, but remember the time. Are you seeing?
Well, Aaron coughs, so I'm going to chime in and say, if you are on one of our other platforms that we're streaming to simultaneously, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, what have you, if you experience any issues over there, or if you just want to come hang out with a wider community, come join us over on our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/SketchUp.
That's right. It's a cool place to hang out. It's where all the cool kids are.
Yeah. On that note, because we're almost there. We are about to hit 500,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We want to do something big for it, but to do something big for it, we need to hit that number. So if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can watch that magical 500,000. We're halfway there. Number come up, and we'll put something special out for everybody. It'll be fun.
We don't know what it'll be, but it'll be good. All right.
Somebody recommends you change to plain water. It might be safer.
Watch out for that carbonation. It will come after you, apparently. Whew. Struggling here, guys, apparently. Cool. So, yeah, I'm still getting all my planes in. This is looking pretty cool. I like the way this is all coming together. Let's detail out these columns and arches just a bit. I don't know if I want to go in and draw brick lines just yet. The only reason I don't want to do that is because it's so time consuming and it's so boring. Like just copying lines and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to mess with that. I think what I want to do instead is take a look at some of this detail here, right? So I have these, we did a stream many years ago, creating columns, and I remember learning the parts of the column and I don't remember the top part of the column, the uppy part as opposed to the bottomy part. I don't remember what they're called now.
Those are the technical terms.
Yeah, uppy and lower. Volute. I don't know. There's words for these things, but yeah. So I want to get this part in here, and it looks like what we have is we have kind of, comes down, maybe comes in, comes down, like kind of does a jog or a couple steps. I can't tell if it's supposed to, maybe it's not. Maybe it has this larger brick, and then after that brick, it actually comes in at an angle. It looks kind of like that. So let's, not on surface. Okay, so let's make something like that. I'll make a geometry like that. Have a question that could spark debate. What's the best software for architecture, Revit or SketchUp? I'm going to answer that with one word. Yes. I know it's probably not what you're expecting. You go, throw a little kerosene on the fire. Well, ask these SketchUp guys a silly question. I'll tell you right now, the best software for architecture is the one that you have to use. So if you're doing anything that requires any level of BIM, you're probably going to end up having to use Revit, whether you like it or not. If you're doing any level of quick turnaround where you got to do conceptual modeling, get something together fairly quickly, you're probably going to be using SketchUp. So most people, there's a fallacy, and I'm just going to talk about this fallacy while I model this detail. There is a straight up fallacy. It is not true at all that there is a software to use. Anybody who believes that an architects use a software is probably being a little silly. There's some out there. There are some out there who have a specific workflow that they use and they have it all locked up. That's awesome. But most architects, professional architects, are going to use multiple software systems. Builders use different systems. Engineers use different systems. So if you're living in that world, you're probably going to have to use more than one. So I say that to say, I don't really know what's the best software mean, because no one really gets to use just one software. So yeah, that's something to think about. Talk about it amongst yourselves.
As an aside to that, Gary from the YouTube comments says, "Hey, Aaron, I do this stuff for a living, and I've learned so much from watching these videos. You guys have improved my SketchUp workflow tremendously. Glad I finally caught one live."
Awesome. Welcome, Gary. Thanks for hanging out with us. I love compliments. All right. So I just kind of mocked up this geometry floating around by itself. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to Command X to cut it. Then I'm going to go into this piece and say edit, paste in place. And you'll see it shows up on all the other pieces back there. I also
So why
want it
did you
on
do
the
that
opposite side.
first before going into the component?
Why?
Out of
Because
curiosity.
so one of the nice things of modeling on the outside of a component is I don't have to worry about interfecting. It's a new word. Interfecting. I'll explain what interfecting is. I don't want that geometry to break or mess with the geometry of my arc. I like my arch the way it is right now, so I don't want to do anything that's going to goof it up. So by modeling on the outside, I can reference all the geometry of the arch without accidentally merging anything with it or anything like that. So I kind of stand alone. Once I know I like that geometry and to use it, that's when I'll bring it in and actually make it part of the model like this. Good question. Good question. All right, I'm going to put one of these on the opposite side. This geometry is still selected from when I brought it in. I'm going to use my mirror command. I'm going to grab my red plane and drag it to this line between the two. Oops, make sure I hit my modifier key to copy. And there we go. Now we got that geometry on both sides. I'm going to come back out real quick because I want to do this on the outside too. Because run this back to here. And then I'm going to run at an angle like this because I want to hold on. I'm at that point where I got to click less talky, more clicky every once in a while. There we go. So that's the geometry. I want to fill that geometry in on the side. I'm putting a 45 here because this next piece that comes out right here will be part of the next column over. So I can grab that, same thing, Command X, come into context, edit, paste in place. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I want to mirror it, but I'm going to do this 2 times. I'm going to mirror to the other side of this. But now I'm going to grab that geometry and that geometry. And I'm going to mirror both of these to here. Look what that did. When I did that, that column or that, what is that called? Volute, crown? What's the top of a column called? Whatever that is, the sweetness that is, copied all the way across there. See that? All there. Just to get it clean, I might come in here, erase these 2 lines, these 2 lines. Yeah, looking good.
Good point to save.
Sure. Look at that. I'm sorry, I did not get my keylogger installed on the new computer, so that's why I'm not doing it. I'm going to take it just a little bit further. I don't need this line on the ground. When I come in and create the rest of this over here, I want this to be clean here. Sorry? Capital.
Capital.
That's correct. That is correct. I like the term wiggly bit better, so I give Keggy.
He gets all the points.
That's right. You get a point. We both. Capital gets a point and wiggly bit gets creativity and factuality. So I have these 2 lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shift erase these 2 lines. That's just going to get rid of them so I don't see them. But I'm also probably going to come in here and maybe delete that face right there so I don't have any Z fighting like I'm getting maybe right here. I might have to peek my head inside to get that surface to delete though. There we go. Once I do that, as I navigate, I missed something. Still got a line. Where do I got an edge? Oh, because I only did it on one side. I got 2 of these. I guess you know what I could have done. Usually this is the point where somebody asks why I modeled the whole arch instead of half the arch. And yeah, you're 100% right. It would have been, you're exactly right, person who didn't actually ask the question. But yeah, what I probably should have done was just modeled half the arch and duplicated the whole thing rather than copying geometry from one side to the other. A moot point at this point because the capital is done. Just to keep everything lining up, I might come in here. Let's see how I could do this. I could copy this, Control C, come out of context, paste it, and then let's do some work here. Let's take it, rotate it 90 degrees, grab it by this point here on the edge, and then drop it right on there. That's going to work. So take all that, cut it, come into context here, edit, paste in place. It's occurring to me now that I made this a group rather than a component, so I'm going to make it a component. I'm going to call it my column.
So does making something a
totally
component after you make it a group negate the group that you made that object out of?
Yeah, so oops, I did some things wrong. Yeah, a group, I mean, for all intents and purposes, a group is basically just a container. It doesn't exist as its own thing anywhere. So disposing of a group after the fact is fine. It's like a temporary copy anyhow. All right. That's looking pretty cool. Even just already, just that little bit is looking pretty nice. I'm going to let me think about where I put my surfaces. It's hard to tell because, like we said before, I'm looking at a hand drawing, so I don't really know where stuff is. But it's hard to tell exactly. I'm just going to draw a reference plane. All right, so there it is at the face. So when I look right here, see, this part looks very different from this part too. It's hard to tell. This might be where Aaron goes rogue and decides he knows better than the architect of a castle built hundreds of years ago. But yeah, let's. I kind of want to see my bricks here. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna scoot it back, like to the middle, midpoint like that. I kind of like that. Which means I gotta pull this back too. Which means I have to fill something in here, but I'll come back to that. I like that. I think that looks kind of cool. So what I can do when I have something like this, like this is basically just a work plane, right? It's a flat surface thrown into 3D geometry. I'll have to come. That's not going to work. Never mind. I don't like it as much as I thought I liked it.
Why isn't that going to work? What's your thought process? What's happening?
So if that happened, then I would see this section right here going back further to meet that plane. But it's not. This thickness is the same all the way down. So that tells me that this probably is up flush with these pieces. So after I said all that, I'm actually going to pull it right back forward like this, and we'll work from that. That'll work. It's good. We're good. It's good. All right. I'm just going to clean this up real quick. There's a couple ways I could do this. I'm tempted to just come find the midpoint and draw another circle right here. So maybe I'll come here and go. That line's not quite down far enough. Grab that and drag it straight. Oops. Go from here, drag it down just a touch. And then draw a line from this end to this end, and draw a circle from the middle there, straight up to here. Delete that bottom part, grab that right there. Whoops, I didn't do that right. Circle from the middle to that point. Something's not quite lining up. I don't like that. All right, that brings me to my other option. What I could do is I could grab this face, I could say intersect face with model, and that did not quite break the way I was hoping it would.
Is there extra geometry that it's interacting with that we don't see, or?
No, it's actually not interacting with geometry. So I'm going to, rather than messing with this, I'm going to pull it back like this. I'm going to say intersect face with model and just flick this out, and then I can grab these pieces and pull them back up here. There we go. Clean up any extra junk that's happening there. What I might do here, I'll go like this. I'll grab triple click to get all that geometry, make it a new group, come into that group, and then what I can do is I can come to view, component, edit, hide rest of model. So now I could actually clean up all this damage I caused. Like that.
Ooh.
You know, it's funny because there's a couple thoughts about modeling processes. There is what I would call elegant modeling, where you plan ahead and you build your pieces and then you set them inside and you go like this. There's another form of modeling, which I would call brute force modeling, where you make things happen by shoving geometry down other geometry's throat. And it all works out in the end. I feel like when I'm matching models, brute force tends to be the way I go. Whereas if I'm modeling something from scratch myself, I might be a little more elegant. But, you know, whatever gets the job done, I suppose. Okay. Save. All right, so we have a bulk of the geometry created. Oh, there's a couple more. What's a volute? Who knows what a volute is? I'm curious. I know it's a part of a column. I don't remember what part it is. I'm going to finish off these columns real quick. So I got this little bump out about halfway between the top and the bottom, and then I got these little spots that come out with. Knowing this is a prison, this is probably something discouraging if I actually knew what that was. But yeah, we'll get this base geometry on the column here too. Same way we did before, very similar to how we did before. It kind of looks, again, super lack of detail, but I'm gonna make up what this looks like. I'm gonna come out here. Come on, another foot.
Peggy says, is a volute like a galoot?
I thought that was part of a column, a volute, V-O-L-U-T-E. There is every possibility that I am making stuff up. Just saying.
Alexis says it's the detail on the columns, the upper part.
Okay. See? I think I'm making things up. It's happened. It has happened. I have made things up before, I will admit it. All right. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to also take these 3 lines. I'm going to offset them, say like 3 inches. This is going to go up. We'll say that goes up 3 feet. We'll take this up 6 inches. Nope. Goes up pretty high. And then I'll take this face right here. Copy that up to here. We'll take that whole thing. That goes up a smaller amount. We'll go up 6 inches there. And then also take that up 6 inches. I got backwards faces. I didn't worry about it because I was just getting my geometry in. Once I have my geometry in, I click on a white face and say orient faces. That should put everything back to the right way. So I think that's what this geometry looks like. It looks like it goes at an angle. Unfortunately, we can really only see one piece and it's half covered up. So I get to make things up. That's the rule. All right, I'm going to clean this up beforehand before I copy anything else. I'm going to get rid of this face. I'm going to shift erase this face. And same thing over here. Erase these 2. Erase this face. Shift erase this face. Ooh, and I should shift erase this face. And this face. Don't forget to check and see if you need to erase your face. All right. I'm going to take all of that. Temporarily, I'm going to make it a group. Actually, it may stay a group. I'm going to cut it, come into context here, edit, paste in place. That goes right there. Perfect. Now for this one, I'm going to come in here, edit, paste, not in place, just paste. Then I'm going to grab it. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. And then I'll grab it. I'll go underneath for this. Grab it here, stick it here. And then I'll do the same thing I did before. If this is bothering you, by the way, the flicker, that's just Z fighting. That's the front and the back face behind crossing over each other. You could, in theory, come in here, whoops, come into context, and I could get rid of all these inside faces because I actually don't need them. So that would be an option if you wanted the cleanest possible geometry coming into your model. I'm going to take that. I'm going to, like I did before, I'm going to mirror. I'm going to grab my green axis. Whoops, that's not green. Green axis. And I'm going to find right the middle point of this arch. Copy that over there. And with that, I should be done, and those should be pretty much all the way around. I did not. Oh. I did not erase these. Oh, shift erase. So I ended up with these extra. I wasn't thinking about that. Somebody in the comments probably caught that as I was doing the wrong thing, because you guys are smarter than me. Problem is, I didn't make that piece. I did not make this piece a component. I made it a group and just copied it. So what that means is what I would have to do is come into, it's not a big deal. I'd have to come in here and shift erase, come in here, shift erase this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, and this line, and then I'd have to do the same thing on the other edge. I have to double click here, and then same thing. I'd have to do it twice. If I made it a component, I'd have to do it once through the whole thing. I was thinking it was loose geometry that I would be exploding soon, but yeah, that would work. That gives me those pieces. And then I would basically do the exact same thing. I got a little teeny brick course right in the middle. So I'll probably come here. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna draw a line from here to here, right at the middle. Where's my middle? There we go. I'm gonna draw like 6 inches up. That. I'll copy it down. There's my brick, the size of my brick course. Is that right? Is that the right term? Am I using that term correctly? I make things up, guys, so you gotta tell me if I'm doing something bad. I'm just gonna have that stick out.
I guess
just
we'll
6
find
inches.
out in the comments pretty soon.
That's right. Yeah, so you just bring that over like this. I probably could, realistically, I could probably do a whole lot more than I'm doing with solids. I'm kind of modeling all this stuff. Rotate that 45 degrees. I'm doing all this stuff kind of piecemeal and just kind of chunking in geometry. I could be doing this a little more elegantly with solids or something like that. But being that I know so little of the actual geometry I'm creating or where I'm going with it, you know, it just seems to be quicker. Oh, here's something I can do. Grab all of this, mirror, copy it, and mirror right to the middle here. That'll give me both sides like that. Apparently that didn't, or did I? I can't remember if I did that or not. Okay, there we go. All right, so this time I'm gonna grab that in case there's an issue that comes up. I call it the middle brick thing. Command X, come into context, edit, paste in place. I'm gonna come in here, edit, paste in place. I'm pasting it in place because I didn't know exactly where it was at. So now I can grab it from here, slide it straight across the red axis till I get to here, and then rotate it back in line. Whoops, that's not the right spot. Rotate it back in line with the column. And then one last mirror to get it on the opposite side of this arch. All right, with that, our column work looks done. Sweet.
So Alexis in the comments says you can make this with the face of the base of the column, cut out the shape, push, and component. Did I read that right?
I'm not arguing with it. I'm trying to understand it.
You can make this with the face of the base of the column, cut the shape, push, and component.
Base of the column, that would be this right here. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I have not quite put together what you mean. So could be, whoops, something is wrong. Something is not right. This shouldn't be here.
It's a little off.
I must have not clicked the middle point when I copied it over. There we go. Yeah, but I mean, short answer, yes, there is several different ways that you could go about creating this geometry. I was kind of, like I said, as is my method apparently, piecemeal going, okay, now I'm going to make this shape, now I'm going to make this shape, now I'm going to make this shape. So yeah, there's probably more concise ways to build everything I just did. So you're probably right. All right. I'm going to cheat this a little bit. I'm going to come into this thing right here. I'm going to view, unhide rest of model, pull this out to here. Still a little more to clean up here, but I will do that. That comes into this wall. And then what we have is we have geometry like this. So pull that out to the middle there. And something likely like this. To continue that across there, and then I'll do the same thing over here. Pull this straight across like that.
All right. So Andy in the comments says, I think corbel is correct. Traditionally, corbels have been used to support the weight of the elements above them, such as roofs, balconies, and overhangs.
Corbel sounds like a good term. I like that. I mean, it's also a detail that has been used in modern architecture as well. So corbels, you'll see corbels on view my hidden geometry.
Randy said if you push the base up into place and then offset it out to the right size. Peggy's saying, not that it's a bad thing, but this looks a little like a Lego castle set. That's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, when your audience is Donovan, that's
I know, right?
big plus.
As I literally sit here with Legos in front of me that my son and I have been building. So yeah, good audience for a comment like that.
All right. Just trying to get some more. Again, the details are loose. We got loose details here, but trying to match something like what we see over here. All right, that's looking cool. So I was saying I did new computer, missing some things. One of the things I don't have is a lot of the shortcuts I use on my 3D mouse. So I got the puck set up correctly, so it rotates in the directions I'm expecting, which is actually not standard. I veer from the standard directions of puck movement and 3D rotation. But so I got that set up so it's rotating right, but I did not set up any of my shortcut keys on here. So some stuff that I like to do, like toggle visibility or toggle hidden edges on and off, or hide the rest of the model when I'm editing a component. Unfortunately, I don't have shortcuts for. So, but hey, I've heard and seen how much you guys appreciate when I struggle. So, got that going for us. All right, let's get rid of these hidden edges. I don't need that anymore. Yeah, let's put some windows in here. I'm gonna assume we have some repeating windows. So let's make a window right here. And
I just realized looking at that picture, those are either high clientele prisoners or visitors.
I would hope that the women in dresses and such are visitors and not. Yeah, because I don't think the Bastille was a cool place to be. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So I'm gonna make a window, and I'm gonna make it into a cutting component. So I'll
Ooh,
take.
Alexis asks about can shortcuts and settings be imported?
Shortcuts and settings normally do come across with an upgrade. My issue is it's a brand new computer. So I could have gone and found the JSON file that includes all my presets. I didn't do that. That's the reason I have an issue, is because I chose not to. That one's on me.
Randy chimed in and said they could be witches.
Oh, that's true. All right, so I'm going to create right here this box. I'm going to grab this box and I'm going to make it a component. That component is going to be window 1. I'm going to glue to vertical surface. I'm going to set this lower left. Actually, cut opening, create. I did that wrong. Explode. Make component. This is one of those things that I know, I swear I know how to do this. I'm going to call window 1 again. Window 1. But I do it so infrequently. So I want to glue to vertical surface, cut opening. Do I say the opposite? Do I say no? Vertical surface, set component axes.
Kegi says, I'm not certain, but I think visiting the prison to watch the inmates was a pastime back then.
Oh, like a zoo. Why is that not cutting?
Oh, some people are wanting to know what setup for your new computer. M1, M2.
It is an M2. That's why. Hold on. I got one crisis at a time. I'm just kidding. It's not a crisis. Model it on the floor. It is a MacBook 2023, 16-inch. It is an M2. And I will say, I am pretty impressed with the way it works. Why are you not cutting an opening? All right, chat, what am I doing wrong
This is
here?
just a reminder for everybody out there. If the SketchUp guy
Struggle away, baby. It
struggles,
happens.
then don't worry. If you're out there having struggles, know that the SketchUp guy struggles too. So we're all in the same boat together.
Oh, because it's a group. Serenity now. All right.
Randy says, like the social pastimes of going down and watching the Friday night hangouts.
Boom.
How
Okay.
things changed.
All right. I did it all. I was just trying to place it into a group instead of a face. All right, so here's my geometry. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to reverse the faces. I need to create a grid on here to represent the bars. So let's do this. Let's make bars. We're just going to make some bars. So if I grab that line, I'm going to divide it by like 4. There we go. Make a circle with only 8 sides because there's no reason to add geometry to this. Keep it like simple like that. Pull that down to here. Grab that and I'm going to move it. Option move it. This direction until I find that. There you go. 2x. Oh, I was going to do 4 bars. I did 3. I made them a lot thicker than I thought I was going to. All right, I'm going to grab that. Make it a group. I'll grab all those. Find the midpoint. Option rotate. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, I'm going to scale that then. Back to here. Back to here. And then we should be able to actually take both of these because like I said, everybody likes solid tools. I should be able to say union those two and create that grid, save it. Okay. I'm going to grab that geometry, Command X, come into the window, edit, paste in place. There we go. We got a little Bastille window. And I should be able to come in the context. So I'm in this surface and then drop that in there and I should get, yeah, there we go. And then it looks like we have a couple more of those windows. It looks like there's another one up here and then maybe one in the back wall, but we'll get to that in a sec. Speaking of this back wall.
Save. Have you saved? Speaking of saving.
Of course I have. Yeah, I don't know where it's having an issue. Oh, duplicate file names. Yeah, I buy that. That sounds like me. We got a guy like that. I'm going to try to simplify this. I'm going to grab a line, pull it all the way across like that, drop it down. That, pull it across to here. Now you just pull this face out. I think 6. There we go. Looks good. Do the same thing up here. Just want the rectangle. I'm just going to click right here to here. Pull that out 6 inches. Draw a line from here to here. From there, I'll go straight across. Might have been able to do that with rotated rectangle, but there we go. Keep it simple. Now we have that piece going across there. We do the same thing back here to get our just this reference. So I am creating broken geometry right now. So this geometry I'm creating is kind of covering up the components. Again, depending on what I'm doing, I'm basically creating what would be like a conceptual architectural model right here. So if I was really concerned about maintaining these components, I would go about this a different way. But the fact is, when I get done at the end of the day, I don't really care if they're components or anything else. So I might just explode geometry and clean up overlaps and that kind of stuff. Even do that automated with something like the cleanup tool. But okay, so that's looking pretty sweet. More down here. Let's get same thing. I'm just drawing a rectangle from one side to the other. Pulling it out. We'll pull this out 6 inches. Excuse me. Do one more rectangle down here. Here. Pull that out 6 inches. And then do the same thing over here. this corner to this corner, and this corner to this corner. Whoops! Got excited. I clicked too early.
Click too early.
Pull that out 6. And then double click here to pull that out 6. All right, so now we got those details. Like I said, some overlapping geometry, but that is clean upable. All right, I'm going to go into my components, grab that window. It looks like right here. So in this top course right here, got a window there. Just go ahead and drop that in. I can't see the rest of it, but let's go ahead and assume. Whoop. Let's go ahead and assume we got one over here too. If I want to make it the same height, I can inference. So I pull off of this line, carry over here like that. Ooh, yeah, like it. It's coming together. Places for people to be tortured and kept. It's coming together. Push this over here.
This is the kind of content we go for here on the SketchUp.com. Thank you.
That's right. What do you mean you haven't subscribed? What about the torture thing?
Somebody made the content comment. Context is everything. So, you know.
That's right. Cool. So looks like I have.
Hey, speaking of models, I just remembered this. One of the things that we're doing for our 500,000 subscriber event is that we are doing, what would you call it? Critique? Not a critique.
Challenge. It's a challenge.
A challenge. We're doing a challenge to celebrate 500,000 subscribers. We sent the call out to everybody that wants to participate to make a model around, is it around just the number 500,000 or SketchUp and 500,000 or?
We didn't get that. We didn't get that specific with it.
Yeah. Make a model and send it in on our forums. On the forum page, we have a post about hitting 500,000 subscribers. So if you want to participate and send a model in for that, head over to forums.sketchup.com, find that post and get all the information to submit your model to our event coming up.
That's right.
And the quicker you subscribe, the faster we're going to hit that mark. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. We're you know, I mean, we're not a personal YouTube channel or anything like that. So it's not like backbreaking work by one person to go through and reach 1 million people or anything like that. We are a company, but it's pretty cool to get to make it to that many people following. It's and again, I'll also say this. Don't tell YouTube, but the numbers, yeah, 500,000. That's cool. I mean, what we really like to do is know that we're doing stuff that's helping you guys, right? So if we get to make content and you get to see it and it helps you, that's really the part that's important to us. We don't monetize our channel. We don't do any of that other kind of stuff. So it's cool. It's cool to get to this threshold and this thing. But what really matters to us is like being able to connect to as many of you guys as you can, because our whole team's point, the goal is to take information and get it out to you guys so you know how to use SketchUp, you enjoy using SketchUp, and you get more out of it. And having a bigger reach, having more people connect to us through our channel just kind of gets us there quicker. So, yeah, I kind of feel, you know, it's cool. 500,000 people, that's a lot of people. So if you got a model that embodies any part of that, we would love to see it. Just go into our forum. Donovan can actually copy a link to the thread in the forum where you can paste a link to your model on 3D Warehouse that represents 500,000 of something.
Yep, let me find that. And I'm going to get it out to everybody.
Take this one right here, and I'm going to make it into its own component. So right now it is a copy of this component. So I'm going to grab this. Why don't I make unique?
Ooh, somebody's recommending that we do cyberpunk architecture for a live.
That would be fun. We did we do have a model from a while ago where we did some cyberpunk modeling, but I think something like that would be great fun to do again. That would be very cool. All right, making a rounded topped opening as well. I'll take this, make this into a new component, which we will call window. I don't know. Let's see. How about window 2? All right, flip to vertical. Set my component axes to the front, and then say cut opening. And then we'll go in the context to place it. There we go.
Oh yeah. Randy says, I learned so many techniques just by watching the minutia of your guys' modeling.
Oh, thanks. Wait, is minutia good?
Minutia of modeling. I don't know. It's catchy.
I can't tell if I'm insulted or appreciative of that comment. I don't know. All right.
I think it is a compliment.
Okay, I'll take it. I like. Yeah. I'll pretend, even if it's not.
Yep.
All right. Push this back because this actually doesn't come out because it has a window there. Put that right there. And put another one up above it. And you like that look right there. This is looking kind of cool. I mean, it's creepy. I'm not a big fan of barred windows. Wouldn't put them in my house, but it is looking kind of neat. Where are we at? Hour 20. Just cruising, just flying through this thing. Yeah, let's start thinking about composing a scene here. I'm gonna channel my inner Eric. Because this is a scene. This is a lot of spots you can't look at in here. Oh, help! What is going on? Okay, stop it. Let's try it again. Start rectangle here. There we go. All right, cool.
You know, we could even populate it with our own team.
There you go. Staff members in the Bastille.
Yeah.
Visiting, of course.
Of course.
All right. It does. I'm gonna grab all of this. Make that into a group. It does kind of look like I have another arch repeating here. Oh no, that's this. That comes down here. So it's hard to tell what happens after this. So I try to compose this in a similar look. I'd have something like this is coming in right on the edge of the screen. Got that over there. I got that arch coming in there. It's more like this maybe. Dang, it's really hard to tell. Definitely got a different focal length I'll have to change to, but it's hard to tell what happens here because over here, so here's that second arch, that's this arch right here, comes in and maybe this is just a foreground element. So we got something in the foreground. Maybe this is actually in line with this. So maybe this, we actually bring something out right here and model something up that covers up that piece right there. I like where I'm going with this. Ah, thanks. Sometimes when you're modeling alone and it's silent, you gotta have your own back.
You're not alone. What are you? What is this alone?
Sorry, when it's quiet. How's that? That's when it's quiet. You know, in the quiet hours. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's pretty close to like what we got going on there. That's kind of cool. I like it. Yes. This will work. I'm gonna do this just to give that some depth. Cool. And then, so we do have one of the things we have over here is I don't know if it's a ramp or a walkway or something like that, but there's definitely something coming off on this spot above. I know I didn't make that arch. I should change that. I should swap it out. So I can grab this and come into my components, grab window 2 and say replace selected. There we go. So yeah, so I don't know. I should probably place my camera so I know where I'm composing to. I'm gonna get about there. And now I'm going to come in here to camera and I'm going to grab my field of view. And while I'm in field of view, I can actually just click and drag up and down to kind of see. Definitely shorter like this. Pretty close. Yeah, something like that. Pretty close to what I'm looking at in that drawing. Awesome. So it's not a perfect photo match because, like I said, planes didn't line up. But now I can actually look at, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a scene real quick so I can get back here. I'm going to drop down. All I want to do, I just want to make sure I have my camera location that I can hop back to. So I'm going to turn everything else off and create a scene. That way I don't have to worry about realigning later. I can come back to that anytime I want. But
You know, somebody, I think we may have talked about this in the live before, but somebody's asking, do you listen to music when you draft? If you do, what do you listen to?
I do. I mean, I gotta quiet the voices somehow. So yeah, whenever I'm pursuing creative endeavors, I tend to listen to something.
What have you been listening to lately?
There's a British band that my son turned me onto called Don Broco, and it's kind of a heavier music, but also very kind of goofy and fun. But yeah, that's Don Broco's been my creative go-to lately.
Cool. There's a new Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's called Lo-Fi and Chill that I've been. I don't want to say rocking out to.
Yeah.
It's lo-fi. You know, rock out to lo-fi, but it has been good background music while
You know,
while working.
I feel like we have not talked about any video games in a while on here. I just got to acknowledge that yeah, I got Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game, and it is destroying any free time I thought I had.
It's amazing.
It is a great game.
I remember when that game was first announced, I was so worried because Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece in gaming.
It is.
And I was so scared that I'm like, what if they don't live up to Breath of the Wild? What if it's not as good as Breath of the Wild? I was so worried. Bought the game. I was so worried. 5 minutes into playing the game, I'm like, I'm not worried anymore.
Yeah. Or what if they made something that's 3 times bigger and is going to take you the rest of your life to get through? All right. So a thing that I'm realizing right here, and yeah, let's do this. There's actually a thing going across here that comes out. So let's get that up here. And then above that, we seem to have a bit of a something the French call a ceiling. I feel very much like I'm composing a render right now with just geometry and like just chuck it somewhere. But yeah, this is getting us closer. So I'll actually bring my field of view down just a bit. Or up. Which way should I be going? No, I want more. There we go. I want more. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, yes. It is coming together.
It's coming together. Peter in the comments says, when Aaron says he's going to make a scene, is it going to be embarrassing?
Oh, if you're related to me, there's a good chance. Awesome. So I'm going to just throw a couple more details. Whoops. Oh, I didn't save that view. Dang. All right, let's try that again. That's fun. It was fun to do that before, so let's do it another time. Cool. Actually, I think that's closer than where I was before. I'm going to go into my scenes real quick. I slid this out of the way so I could line my stuff up. I'm going to go with scenes, and I'm going to say update this scene rather than creating a new scene because I like this view better. And then, you know what? I do like it, but I don't. No, actually go to that scene.
Just your internal back and forth.
Well, so here's what's tripping. I just realized what's tripping me up. When we look at this image, at the actual image, it's like a 4x3, right? It's like this big. I'm working on a widescreen. When I take away the bars and everything else, I'm working on a widescreen image, right? So I'm looking at, okay, at the right, it cuts off right over here. And then on this side, I have this kind of wall coming in, but that wall only comes in on the edge because like from here over doesn't exist in the drawing. So it would get cropped here. So I'm good now. I'm good. I had some things to say, but we're good. We're good. We got it now.
Aaron makes a scene in the Bastille. That could be the title of the video right there.
I like it. I can get behind that. All right, I'm gonna create. We got some not a lot of detailed geometry over here. Create that, push it in.
Speaking of save.
Command S. Done. I did it. I'm gonna come into one of these components and I'm gonna steal my grate I made. That's great.
Great. You're great.
That's just great. Right, I'm going to grab it by the middle here. I don't know if it's going to line up with the circle or not, but middle there, and then I'm going to drag it down vertically, middle here, and then I'm going to move it back in, and then I'm going to scale it. Nope, actually, I'm going to move it back out so I can reach my handles. Option scale right the middle. Boom. Now I'm going to slide it back in. And nobody's escaping through that hole. Okay, going back over here. I like this. This is fun. This turned out pretty cool. Some of my geometry is a little bit off. This side on the, over here, this was definitely stretched up taller than what I ended up with. In fact, everything has a little bit more of a chunky look to it. I made mine a little more. Maybe this is a U.S. versus French design.
Yeah, I was about to say the U.S. You know, we're a little bit plumper over here, so our buildings are reflecting that too.
I got that solid chunky. This is Texas right here. This is just big and solid, and this is an F-150. Yeah, it's my full body Bastille. I like it though. I think it turned out cool. It turned out kind of. I like the geometry. I'm kind of bummed. I was really hoping for the opportunity to photo match a hand drawn image. I thought that would be cool if that worked out because I mean theoretically drawing a perspective drawing and having vanishing points with a ruler is not terribly difficult to do. It's pretty doable. But yeah, this turned out pretty cool all in its own right. Maybe I'll grab this and I'll say intersect face with model to get little edges around there. Ooh, yeah, my geometry all leaked. Look at this. I triple clicked over here and the wall and backlit up. How not to model? Ooh, come on, man. Oh, it's because my floor's tying it all together. All right, let's grab.
This is why we do tutorials, to show you how to and how not to do stuff.
Let's group that together. This is a group. This is a group. Now I can grab this. Well, I'd really prefer that were in the wall, so let's grab that. Command X, come into context, paste in place. All right, I'm okay with the ceiling, this wall up front, and the floor being a separate group. So I'll go ahead and make that a group. That's kind of filler anyhow. But there, I think this is cool. I'm gonna stop here because it is almost 1:40, and I feel like anything that go beyond here is a step that I can't finish in another 20 minutes. But that looks pretty cool.
Texture?
No, I definitely couldn't do that, because what I would do, so if I was going to come in and texture this is what I would do. I would come in, get some, let's see, where's my brick? Brick cladding and siding. I would get something maybe like this. Okay, yeah. So come into context here. Apply this brick here. And then I would do something like this. Well, we'll see. Maybe this will work out in time. But I would position this texture, stretch it way up, because we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brick courses between these two spots. Even bigger. So I am currently stretching this beyond the point where this texture is going to look good. I would actually want some larger stuff. Then let's also take that, position it so that break between the bricks is right in the middle. All right. Let's continue that. Let's go sample that and apply it to the rest. Come in here, apply it here, but here, oh no. Right. Here I got to go reposition my texture. And blow it up way bigger so we get a single brick face that covers that, like that. And then maybe I can grab that and put it on either side of this. Yeah, talking about it's gonna be messy. So we could get there. I'd probably come into this one, sample here, fill in here. Again, I'd probably position again, slide it over so the brick break is in the middle. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but yeah, this is the thing. That does not make me very happy. What I would probably have to do for that, if I wanted to actually be happy about how that looked, would be to do something. All right, so here's what I do.
Ooh, reminds me of Quake.
I shuddered. So maybe every other line would go like this and break this. I would need to do this on the underside as well. Because look at this. This, I don't know what that is. That's not good. But yeah, I would go like this. Whoops, went too far. I overwent. Almost there. Keep on clicking. Whoops, missed one. Keep on clicking. keep on clicking. All right, like that. And then what I probably do is take this one surface, position my texture, turn it, and scale it. Basically, I blow it up enough so that I get, there we go. Something like that, maybe.
Ooh, brick or limestone? What would it have been made of?
I honestly don't know. Some French rock. I don't know what we got over there. Bastille rock. So yeah, so this is what I would end up doing is I would rotate each piece something like this and just work my way up one edge at a time until I got that same thing happening. Actually, I could probably do this. I could probably grab these faces, rotate them from the middle here. No, that did not work well. Okay.
Iggy
So, yeah.
says use the old concrete material for a single stone face.
That's true. I'm using brick for what shouldn't be. So if I go grab a new material, bring this over here. The only downside to doing this is I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too right now. Cake. Is this will look good if my edges are turned on. Right? As soon as I render or turn my edges off, that all goes away.
Speaking of cake, have we ever done a portal level?
I modeled a robot from Portal once.
I think I remember that one.
Okay, this is going to have small bricks. Because. All right, so yeah, texturing, especially with brick, is something that I personally want to spend more time and energy on, but we could grab it all. Something like that. Color this a nice dark color.
Did I throw off your groove? I felt like I threw off your groove.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so that would, I mean, it would totally be possible. Yeah, I might have to go back to monochrome for the thumbnail.
Yeah, that's all right. Can't say we didn't try.
That's right. No, I do. I mean, brick in particular is something that when you do it right, it looks super, super cool. If you do it wrong, it looks super, super cheesy. So it's definitely one of the two of those, and those are your only options. Hey, let's see what this looks like real quick. Let's do it. Let's just add a little bit of ambiance. Maybe we'll throw some shadows in here. Oh, that's not going to be good because it's inside. We don't have any windows. Actually, that's kind of cool. A little bit. Maybe the front door's open. A little bit of fog too. Oh yeah, it's a little too nice. Looks like a shopping mall or
Whoa.
something right now. And we got to make people hate to be here. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it sucks to be here now, huh? That's what you get for being a French perch snatcher. No, I think people who are in here probably are like dissidents and yeah. All right, I'm gonna call it. That's time. Uh, that's awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I think we made a pretty cool thing. Leave a comment in wherever you're dialing in from. If you're in YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, got them all. Go ahead and leave a comment. Give us an idea of what you think would make a cool live model. What would be a fun thing to get in here model? Where do you think some learning would happen? What's a question you've always had? That kind of thing. We're also just playing with the idea of doing like another Q&A session, which we haven't done for a long time. Let me know if you think that would be fun, if we should do something along those lines and come with no plan and answer your questions live. That would be cool. Yeah. Is there anything that we need to announce that I didn't think about, Donovan?
We got the 500,000 subscriber. We got the forum. The link is up in the various chats. Join us next week. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel.
Right.
And we're gonna do this again like we do every week.
Yeah, Tyson will be modeling next week, so
yep.
Something will be created. Don't know exactly what yet, but we'll find out next week. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, again, thank you guys. I so much appreciate you hanging out with us and watching this. Again, give us your feedback. Let us know what you like, what you think we could do differently, better. Ideas for models are always welcome. Leave them in the chat or hit us up on social. Or swing by our forum, forums.sketchup.com. That's a great place. That's where a lot of sketchupping. That's where a lot of SketchUp happens.
Yep.
Simple. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much.
Yep.